work policy that will hold employees accountable to the production that they must bring in terms of the results that you want. Remember, we said we help executives and entrepreneurs to make sure that they optimize their people, their processes and systems so that they can get their return on investment, which is the production. There's a production that needs to be adhered to. So, but we cannot compromise production by saying people must come to work. Only essential people must go to work, because they need to make sure that people are getting their cure, people are isolated, people are quarantined in order for this disease to be normalized as well. So can you operate from home or alternative locations as well? So if you have employees that you want them to operate from home, as an organization, are you having systems like this one, your YouTube, your internet connection, your Zoom, where you can hold meetings? So those are the things that you need to look at. And then that is your possible action that you must do as an organization to provide for your staff. And then how will you respond to customers not consuming your goods or services during this time due to fear of catching the virus? So you have to have a response mechanism in line with that as well. So that is the first one. Is the staff or related parties, if they can catch COVID-19. So, or what will be your mitigating or your possible action that you put in place? And then from that, we need to go now to the second one. The second one is your staffing arrangement. What will be your staffing arrangement due to the pandemic we are faced with? So how will you operate around that? So possible action to take is you need to say, can you and your staff work remotely? If so, you must test YouTube is working, you test that your GoToWebinar is working, those things are done and tested for your employees. You don't say you didn't deliver during this time and all of that. So that is what we don't want. So make sure that staff can work from home. As an employer, you need to make sure that staff can work from home, take or on overtime hours as well. That is what you need to look at in this case. So the other thing that you need to do is you need to say, do you have the support system in place? As an organization, do we have the support system in place to assist staff working from home, including technology, IT, and then appropriate cybersecurity? Yesterday, we talked about cybersecurity because where there's a crisis, we said the scammers come in. So you need to make sure that your employees are covered from your technological important files as an organization. So that is what you look at. And then you need to update your work from home protocols to factor security risk. What can be a security risk at home? A theft of your work laptop and all of that. So those are the things that you need to consider as well in that regard. We know that in South Africa at the moment, at our schools, what is happening is criminals are targeting schools, taking the laptops, taking the portable handheld phones that the Gauteng Department of Education has bought for the kids, and then they've looted that, they've stolen that from the schools. So those are the aspects that you need to look at. If I bring the work equipment at home, will they not be stolen? Will I not get a burglary coming in so that they can take the equipment? So those are the things that we need to consider as well. Do you need, as an organization, do you need to invest in technology to allow staff to work remotely? Is this going to be the norm? We said in our first episode, the norm will change. No one, I've interacted with a lot of guys, and then they're saying the way they are feeling comfortable working from home, they don't think they'll go to the office. So we are talking now commercial services being impacted by this when you look at it from that light. If staff cannot work remotely and there's no work for them, can they take leave or undertake online training courses? How do I now, during this time, my staff? So do they decide as well? You must consider developing a special roster so that critical staff are always available to keep essential services provided, systems and processes running, or that they have skeleton staff on site as well. So those are the things that you need to look at as well in this regards. So have you revised, since the COVID-19 outbreak, have you revised your staff travel plans and their attendance at events? So that is a policy that you need to now look at as well. Have you revisited it? What have you done in that regard as an entrepreneur? What arrangements have you put in place to reduce the risk of staff becoming infected, especially staff working in your premises? This could include things such as your hand sanitizers. We are going to start to see this in our workplace. Like the president said yesterday, if you do not have proper things to bring your company to operation, like your hand sanitizers, your toilet papers, you're not going to be at their mercy, because you need to have those. So those are the things that are needed currently. They are a must. You must have those things currently. So, and then ensure that you must ensure that communication with staff, including your regular checkup on their health and health of their family as well. Your check-ins, you don't have to go there physically, but you need to ask them about their family now. How is the family doing? So you must be in touch with your employees, because remember, as we said, those are the important, they form part of your important things: people, processes, and systems. So we are talking now people, processes. When they are going to work at home, we are talking about processes that must be followed up, and then the systems that you are going to use to make sure that they are optimally delivering as well. So you must update your staff records to ensure contact details are correct as well. So you need to do that one. Make sure that the details are correct. And then on this one, before we go to our the third and the fourth one, let us remind you of the government call. The government call is saying to our people, let us please stay at home, be safe, and then let us make sure that we don't sit down and listen to news. We must take a break, unwind, and then we must do what? We must make sure that we stay at home and stay safe. That is what the government, and then we must read something as well in order for us to lower our stress level due to this pandemic as well. We have done today, we are on our 29th day in the lockdown in South Africa. So we must really congratulate ourselves, and then congratulate ourselves for working with the government of the Republic of South Africa, the interministerial committee that is dealing with the COVID-19, or your special envoy committee that is dealing with COVID-19, the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, in line with how he's been handling this COVID-19 pandemic. We are congratulated as South Africa in line with what we are doing. So we must be really proud of what we are doing as South Africans. So, and then in line with that, we'll want to say to you, we thank you as well from here. So let us go to our item number. Before we go to that item, we just want to play you a snapshot here of the CDC guideline in terms of what we are discussing, discussion for today. But we just need to listen to this one. It's just an advert from there. While we are waiting for it, we will continue. I think I'm not getting there. We will make sure that we play that before the end of our discussion today. So let us go to item number 3 in line with the COVID-19. So what we need to do is, in this case, we need to ask suppliers whether they expect the crisis will impact their ability to deliver or supply our needs. So we need to do that. But I think a lot of engineering companies have already shifted their schedule in line with the COVID-19 and then the declaration of the state of emergency, because it is a must that every organization must halt. If your services are not essential, you must halt any deliveries, any long lead deliveries, you must halt them in order for us to. We must not see what happened to Impala plants in Impala mine in Rustenburg, where the general manager was taken to prison in line with the discretion on lockdown procedure. So you must establish a relationship with alternative suppliers and test how quickly they can meet your requirements as an organization and start price negotiation. So now it is the time to do the negotiations. We've seen this happen, and then it took us so much in order for us to finalize our project. What do you think can be your best offer? So you must now start doing what? We must start now doing the negotiations in line with what we want to see happening from now onwards as well. And then in another cases, we need to start looking at look for local alternative suppliers, even if they are more expensive. But we must try to look for those guys. So local now plays an important part. Even when the economy is opened, you've seen the president said yesterday the borders will still be closed, opened. So if your product is not essential and you are taking it from another country, you need to look for local supply in line with that. So if you intend to reduce orders over the crisis, inform your suppliers and check your supply contracts to see in what circumstances you can cancel orders if necessary. So that is what we need to start doing now, to talk to our suppliers and see, can I cancel this order for now? And then the other part that follows from there is your customers. What is your communication with your customers? Customers are key. If you look at the Amazon, they love the customer. The customer comes first. Even in this crisis, Amazon is the first company that has distributed goods to the disadvantaged communities. So that is what we need to look at as well in this case. So if you have received orders that you cannot fill, tell the customers as soon as possible and help them find alternative suppliers. So now it is that time where you are lending a hand to help your customers and then show them the door to say, this is the supply you must use. I'm not in your vicinity at the moment, I cannot supply, but this is the person in your area that can supply the service as well. So that is what you need to do in this case. For example, for us in the conferencing speakers, they need to use people that are in South Africa, because now currently the borders are still closed. So there's nothing that they are going to do. So if they are debtors, ask them when they expect to pay you. You must always have this culture in your organization where you ask your customers if they are owing you, when are you going to pay me? You must do it a habit that you do it on a weekly basis. So that is what we do when we want to catch up with the debtors. We've got the debtors register, and then we communicate with them we communicate with our suppliers on a weekly basis to say, when do you think it's possible for you to pay us? So that is what you need to do. Make it known to existing customers that you are open for business. Even when you are operating from, does not mean that you don't do your work or your organization is non-operation. It is operational. It's just that you are confined to your comfort of your home together with your staff members as well. You must provide incentives for existing customers to run with them. Do you need to cancel events for customers? If you have to do that, you must make them aware. Speak to your staff members, speak to your customers. Show them your financial books, the COVID-19, how is COVID-19 after clean. If necessary, update your sales contracts to reduce the risk of customers canceling sales unnecessarily. So you need to update your sales contracts to reduce the risk of losing the customers. So that is what you need to do in your organization. And then implement the contingency plan. So you need to make sure that if you have stipulated the contingency plan in line with your staff members, your staffing arrangements, and then now your supply chain disruption, your customers, you need to implement the plan. So how do you do that? You implement the plan by considering a COVID-19 response team to assist. You see the response team that the president has prepared. You need to do the same in your organization as well. You have to have a COVID-19 response team to assist you manage through the crisis and the recovery plan of your organization. Remember, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 will not be the same. But for 2020, the whole quarters might be affected by the COVID-19 impact in other industries. So they might be making zero on all these quarters for the whole year. So other companies might take them 5 years before they do their profit. At the moment, they will start maybe operating at a zero loss. So those are the things that you need to look at, where you have a recovery team that is going to say, this is how we are going to make sure that we are optimally operating. We are starting to garner some trust. We are starting to now develop and then have enough cash injection into our organization. And it is going to take us so much. We know the economy has dropped as well due to the COVID-19. So test your crisis plan. For example, have all or nearly all your staff work from home for 1 day. In South Africa at the moment, what is happening? We are staying at home. We are still like alert level 5. We are only allowed to go in and buy the essential goods. And then rather than that, the pandemic of COVID-19. So that is what we will do, and then we need to do that for our government in order for us to be okay. So let us keep doing that, and then until we meet again, please do follow us on our YouTube /Ndozelize Benjamin Mkinede, and then you follow us on LinkedIn as well. And then we hope you have a fantastic weekend until we meet again. But please comment, like the video or the Facebook Live. And then if you have any suggestion for a topic that we need to comment section, do this. And then thank you very much for listening to our Facebook Live for today.